Unmuted.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Mr. Berger.
Here.
Ms. Capabianca.
Here.
Mr. Corey.
Here.
Mr. Cronin.
Here.
Mr. Fettis. Here. Mr. Ippolito.
Here.
Ms. Fowler here. Mr. Kisco.
Here.
Mr. Putnam.
Here.
Ms. Toder.
Here.
Mayor or Representative. Ms. Ferguson. Here. Ms. Harrell.
Here.
Ms. Komazewski. Mr. Pagola.
Here.
Mr. Petrozelli.
Here.
Ms. Schulte.
Here.
Ms. Vians. Mr. Wilson.
Here.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So move.
All those in
Who was
favor?
first?
Aye.
Sue and John.
School community service, public participation. The board invites members of the community to speak on topics to be addressed in the agenda or other topics of interest. Speakers must state their name and address at the beginning of their comment. We will not allow comments regarding specific staff members, parents, students, or personal grievances. Do you have anyone say something? Carrie.
Hi, everyone. My name is Carrie Hona. I live at 603 New Harwinton Road. My husband and I have 3 daughters who currently attend or have attended our public schools. And I'm a city councilwoman for the next couple of weeks. I'm here to take my own opportunity to thank Chairwoman Capabianca for her many years of dedicated service to our children, our educators, and our community at large. We haven't always seen eye to eye. I'm pretty sure that the first time I sat here in front of you was when East School was closing and my children were being moved from the little elementary school that they loved. And I'd be lying if I said that that didn't impact my middle child negatively. But I know that all who sat on this board at that time made that difficult decision with the best of intentions for our entire city's children and taxpayers, and in the end, it was the right choice for our city as a whole. This board has continued to have to make those hard decisions in an effort to improve our outcomes. I want to take this chance to thank all of you as well. I already know this about me. I'm particularly partisan. That's why I've really watched with admiration as the Republicans who have had the majority on this board for as long as I can remember have chosen Fiona as their chair. Despite her being from a different political party, conceivably because you had faith that her intentions were pure and your concerns and your input would be heard. I'm also not naive, probably at least a little bit because nobody wanted to do it. In any case, together you've done the unthinkable. You garnered community support for a beautiful state-of-the-art building for our middle schoolers and our high schoolers that will be a flagship for our city and will take into account the needs of all of our learners. You worked together in a bipartisan way to ensure that the jobs building that school were done by our residents, ensuring that our community was put to work, our students had apprenticeship opportunities, and that building was being built by the same people who are going to send their children here. You saw to it that our children were fed and had the technology necessary to learn during COVID. And you took the hard steps of enforcing a wildly unpopular cell phone ban that is already having the desired effect, safer schools and more attentive learners. Together, you continued to ensure our schools ran, even in the face of unfair, punishing budgets handed down from the mayor's office and the Board of Finance year after year. And for those of you who have been here a while, you've done many of these things with a revolving door of superintendents. Mr. Wilson, we like you, we hope you like us too. And on a personal note, this year you brought back tag. And I've already seen it improve the experiences of a certain uninspired 8th grader and a distracted bored 4th grader that live in my house. These next months will set the tone for how you move forward as a board. While Fiona, in my opinion, has been a tremendous, focused, dedicated chair, I've seen those qualities in many of you here. I know that you have your individual backgrounds and passions, but it's my sincere hope and belief that you can continue to take a deep breath in the face of disagreement, to find common ground, and to keep moving our district forward. Thank you.
Recognition.
So I'm very honored tonight. We have 3 recognitions this evening, and these
These are always a highlight when we get to recognize. Tonight's a little different. We're going to recognize some students and some adults. So I would like to call Principal Rinaldi up. I'd like to say a few words, and then we will recognize the student here this evening.
Sir, we have somebody on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot. Sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Shelley. It was on me. I jumped the gun. I'll take
Sorry.
it.
Jason?
Hello,
Hello, we can hear
can you hear me?
Sorry.
Hi, good evening, Jason Lafreniere. I live in Granby, Connecticut, but I'm a special education teacher at Torrington Middle School for over 19 years and a teacher representative to the budget subcommittee. Sorry I'm not there live in person. I do have two areas of concern and an area of recognition that I'd like to address this evening. The first concern is over the lack of substitute teachers and paraeducators that are available through ESS and the low rate at which jobs are being accepted, at least at Torrington Middle School. When substitutes from this contracted company are not available, it falls on building staff to cover those classes. Teachers are being pulled to cover classes during critical collaboration time that is meant for house and department meetings to discuss students' academic progress and behavior concerns, and to develop engaging, rigorous shared experiences around our curriculum. There are some teachers that I've already covered over 20 different times since the start of the school year. Contractually, if a teacher covers during their personal planning time more than 3 times in a year, then they get compensated for each additional lost prep period at a rate of $25 per class. Due to the way that the TMS schedule works, each teacher has a personal plan period and a collaboration duty period. The building has been able to avoid exorbitant coverage costs due to the way coverage is assigned during those duty times, but this is at the expense of keeping students from falling behind, recognizing those that are doing well, communicating with parents, and curriculum development. Of even greater concern is the loss of the Board of Ed Chairwoman, Fiona Capabianca, during yesterday's election. For 13 years, Fiona has served as a volunteer on this board, putting an incalculable number of hours serving the students, staff, and taxpayers of Torrington. Fiona has worked tirelessly to ensure that policies that were created were fair and appropriate for the advancement of our district. She asked the hard questions when answers and information did not seem right. She fought the city to secure funding, collaboration, and transparency. She was the top proponent of the new high school, middle school project, which I'm excited to be able to teach in. When I first proposed the annual Torrington Middle School, Washington, D.C. trip back in 2010, when she first started, if I remember correctly, she was a strong advocate for that experience. She became an even greater supporter after she chaperoned the trip with her daughter, seeing the value of that experience. Fiona, I am sorry that the residents of Torrington did not feel that you should continue to serve Torrington Public Schools. You are leaving a huge legacy that should be celebrated and appreciated. You have big shoes to fill, and I look forward to sitting with you on the other side of the table. To those who remain and to those that were elected to the board, I urge you to please continue Mrs. Capabianca's commitment to Torrington Public Schools. Lastly, in the spirit of Superintendent Wilson, I have a you got caught moment. Yesterday, I had the privilege of sitting in professional development that was run by the humanity coaches from the middle school and high school, Stacy Pollack and Marla Kane. The morning session was very well put together, informative, and got me really thinking about the deficits we face when trying to teach students to comprehend what they read. To briefly summarize, it comes down to a student's general background knowledge and how a lack of such general background knowledge or a teacher's failure to connect text to background knowledge will impact the value of understanding, the level of understanding, regardless of how well a student reads. Those two women challenged us to split teaching time between reading strategies and activating prior knowledge and imparting opportunities for building new knowledge to pull from. I want to compliment the two of them on their implementation of strategies that could be used in the classroom and the opportunities for collaboration and not just lecturing us. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Sorry. No, that's fine. We have 3 recognitions tonight. One is one of our wonderful students who's here tonight. I'll have Principal Rinaldi come up and share a few words, and we'll recognize her and take some photos with her and her family and the board if she wants.
So I want to first thank you for this opportunity to recognize Emma. Where'd you go? Okay. Myself. Emma Newcomb is an amazing 8th grader at our school, and she has won first place in the American Chemical Society Fall Illustrative Poem Contest. Now, just so you know the magnitude of this is actually a 2-state award. About 75% of Connecticut is enrolled in this, as well as about 50% of Massachusetts. So Emma actually researched the medicinal purposes of snakes, which most people wouldn't get near a snake, but Emma researched it for several weeks. She illustrated her poem, she submitted her poem, and she won first place. Her work is now in Washington, D.C., where we can see if she goes on for national recognition. So we are so incredibly proud of you. Personal note, Emma, this year I have watched you blossom into a confident learner. You have amazed me. You're taking risks and you're trusting the adults that surround you. And I could not be any more proud. From the moment I met you, I expected great things, but this year you are just showing me greater things. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Right in the middle. So the board can recognize you as well. Take one this way. And we need the board to stand up if you're in the photo.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And on behalf of the whole team in Torrington, we would like to thank Mrs. Toder and Mrs. Capabianco for their many years of dedication and service to the students. Since coming on board, the two of you have really made me feel welcome. So I know I'm gonna miss the both of you, I'm sorry. I said I wouldn't do this. I said I'm gonna miss the both of you, and you really kind of welcome me with open arms. And it is a huge loss for all of our students and for the entire team. So I wanted to just thank you on behalf of the team, and we have a little token of our appreciation, and then I'll leave the floor open if you would like to say. And wait, there's more. So thank you for all that you do. Kathy, the floor is yours now. I don't want to leave time. If Fiona wanted to share a few words.
This is bittersweet for me. For some reason, this was always on my bucket list that I wanted to be on the Board of Ed. I just never really expected it would be Board of Ed in the district where I had worked on it. So it has been wonderful being involved in our town and our community. I think Carrie said it best when she talked about the nonpartisan board that we have. And honestly, I've said it more than once, I'm not a really good political person, but I think I always hoped and I always felt like everything we did in this board for the last 5 years has been focused on what's best for our kids and how we can best support our staff and our teachers and administrators. I don't think I had any idea when I took this on, despite my 36 years in education, the amount of time that this board would take. And I remember my interview, and they said, well, are you real? And I remember John saying, are you committed to being out 2 Wednesday nights a month? He said, you'll have a Board of Ed meeting and a committee meeting. He did love it, yeah. Like,
At least that.
yeah, exactly. So,
Nobody said anything about 4 nights a week.
right, exactly, 4 nights a week and all the other things and meetings that come along with this. So, I know I'm not telling any of my former board friends here or anything, because you've all been involved in it, and I admire you, and thank you for going forward again. And then serving for another 4 years. But my biggest heartbreak last night was that Fiona's not going to be leading our board. I too thank you. You were such an amazing role model to me, coming on as a new board member. Your commitment, your professionalism, somebody's going to have a really hard time filling your shoes. Because you gave 110%. And quite frankly, I don't know how anybody can survive on as little sleep as you survive on. So, thank you for all the years that you've given to the board. And I second everything that Carrie said about what's going on. So, but thank you so much for teaching us to not be political and to really focus on the needs and wants of our students and our staff. And like I told you earlier, Fiona always told us that our job was to hire a superintendent and enforce policy. So I'm really excited that we've hired a new superintendent who, Michael, you gotta lead us, lead the district, and I'm excited to see where that all goes. Thank you guys for this opportunity. Good luck. I'll miss you.
So I'm gonna start with, I grew up with all brothers, so I don't even know where these tears are coming from. I am not an emotional person, but, so I would like to take a moment to thank Kathy Toder for her service to the board. Kathy was an educator prior to her time on the board, and her insight has been invaluable. We could always count on Kathy to attend expulsions, whatever other things were needed, no matter the time of day or night, she always made herself available. She attended all her committee and negotiation assignments, and if she couldn't for any reason, she always did the courtesy notification. There was never a quorum issue for committees that Kathy served on. Kathy always came prepared also. She read the materials and didn't open her packet at the meeting. Appreciated. Kathy, you'll be missed so much. We have enjoyed working with you and hope that you enjoy your second retirement with your group of kids. Okay. As many of you may have heard, tonight will also be my last meeting with the board. Sorry, like I said, I don't even know who this person is, but to all the amazing people that I've had the opportunity to gain experience from and work with over the years, I thank each of you. This has not been easy work, but each of you have made it very meaningful to me. The times we have shared, friendships we've forged, and the successes we have accomplished against all odds are things I will never forget. I would like to encourage each of you to continue the work that we have done as a team. We are 10 people from completely different backgrounds that have figured out a way to move in the same direction to get things done. I have been on the board when it has been extremely dysfunctional and when it has functioned. This team in front of me tonight has figured out a way to make it work. And the reason was because none of you came with an agenda. We were not in this for personal gain. We really wanted to make the schools better, even if that meant making the tough decisions that had to be made. I have learned so much from all of you, both the staff and the board. For some, your passion is what made me want to work harder to provide our kids with the same opportunities that other kids get in surrounding districts. For others, your knowledge about curriculum or day-to-day operations of the school made me a better board chair. Many times, each of you have shown me different scenarios for different situations or given me a unique perspective that has been helpful in the day-to-day operations of the board. Today, many times, I felt I was actually attending my own funeral, which is strange. People have been knocking at my door and reaching out. It's the strangest day of my life. Board of Education members are always targets for criticism for whatever they do, and until you serve on the board, you will not understand it. The decisions that we are faced with and the information that is necessary to make the decisions we make, none of it is taken lightly. Our community has no idea the time commitment each of you makes daily and your sleepless nights trying to be sure we're making the right decisions because 43 kids and 700 staff members are counting on us. Each of you has stepped up whenever necessary to do whatever was needed. One of my proudest moments was at the onset of the pandemic and the concern over if our kids were going to have food to eat if we closed, and how were we going to check in on them if they weren't in school. We decided we would do weekly drive-through food drives and drive-through distributions, only to find out another roadblock. We couldn't do that unless we all took a course and became FEMA certified. One would have thought that would have ended that idea, but no, many of you stepped up, took the course, did what we needed to do for our kids, like all of you have done so many times. We are an alliance district, which means we are one of the worst performing districts in the state, a scarlet letter of sort. To turn our district around, substantial changes needed to happen. Changes take time, courage, planning, and really addressing what our issues are and talking about them, even if it makes people uncomfortable. I have no regrets whatsoever because every decision that has been made has been done with intention and consideration for what it will do for every single student outcome and every child's future here. We no longer service children based on where they live in Torrington, and that's something I'll always be proud of. Leaders on this board understood that allowing kids to be in a building that was crumbling around them was certainly not conducive or to school pride or pride in our city for that matter. We knew that failing to address the issues with funding because you do not want to rock the boat or addressing other issues because they were controversial would get our students nowhere. Please move forward with the same convictions. If the Board of Education is not willing to fight for the kids in this town, who will? I have never been a political person, and I will not play the game. It is not who I am. I am also not a bystander and will not make deals that are not in the best interest of the schools. I will not be bullied into keeping quiet, and if these things cost me the election, I'm okay with that. I will always believe that if you speak the truth and share the facts, things will always turn out right. I am a resident of this town, and I will continue to speak out in every avenue I can to ensure our progress is not halted. Others in our town, whether it be other city leaders or other community members, will continue to stand in our way of doing what's best for our students. Please continue to put your differences aside, stand up to those people, and share your reasons for your choices. If our board continues to do that, our children will continue to benefit. I received many messages today, but one handwritten note really resonated with me and drives our board. I won't read the whole note, just an excerpt. This is a sad day for Torrington. I am very interested in Greek proverbs, and this sums it up. Not many people have the vision or desire to plant a seed, knowing full well that they will never benefit from sitting in the tree, sitting in the shade the tree will provide in the future. Your leadership has accomplished that. Your children have not benefited, but future generations will. And many people don't see the worth of that, but you did. Watching all of you work around every roadblock and obstacle thrown in front of you to get the building up made me feel so proud to be from Torrington, a feeling I have not had since 1963. The passion in all of you for our community makes me smile. Thanks for the memories. While my chapter here is ending, I look forward to what is next and watching our students continue to make progress with support from all of you. We are at a turning point in Torrington with a new superintendent and Mr. Wilson, and we're very lucky to have him. I hope you will all continue to have his back, protect his blind side, and allow him to lead the district with his team to help our kids become the best that they can be and prepare them for what's next after they leave the Torrington Public Schools. Lastly, to my husband and kids, you have all sacrificed so much for me to pursue my passion. It has not been easy for any of you, but I am extremely grateful for your support. Even when you knew it was not best for our family, you continued to support me and made a lot of sacrifices. To my husband, I am now going to consider taking the whiteboard off the wall, if any of you want it, and maybe replace it with a family photo. Good luck to everyone. I know you will all do remarkable things, and I will be cheering for all of you every step of the way. Thank you. All right, we want to get home for Jeopardy. All right, student report. Sorry, guys.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Haley Galavi. My name is Rita E. So in academic news, quarter 2 of the school year has just begun and parent-teacher conferences are just around the corner. This past weekend, THS hosted a homecoming dance with roughly 250 students coming out to join in, and our Hollywood-themed festivities, dressing up and having a fun-filled night of dancing.
The Child Development 2 students taught their first activities in the preschool learning lab here at THS. Activities taught included letter sequencing, emotion identification, and upper and lower case letter sorting. High school students did fantastic.
Our sports science class wrapped up a unit on concussions and medical beginnings of CTE by tossing Melina the melon off the bleachers. After studying concussion protocols across different sports, students researched helmet designs and incorporated the information into a final design, which they then strapped onto a melon and dropped from 25 feet up. The activity was an inquiry-based design and redesign format to create a helmet loosely connected to an actual helmet to protect the melon in a 25-foot drop and then dissecting the melon for internal injuries.
THS students had loads of holiday fun this month. Our theater students put on their annual haunted theater. Our students did a phenomenal job putting together this event for the community. Our teachers joined in the Halloween fun by dressing up in costume, showing our school spirit. Georgia sports medicine classes had a lot of fun doing a zombie wound lab. The students watched a video on how to create a fake wound and then use glue, toilet paper, Vaseline, cocoa powder, fake blood, and other tools to create their own wounds, either on themselves or on a paper plate. They had to come up with a creative, medically detailed story to explain the wound and learn about the stages of wound healing. They had a lot of fun and did a great job creating realistic movies.
The UConn Allied Health Professionals class hosted THS alumni Andrew Fisher, an orthopedic technician with Orthopedic Associates of Hartford. He talked about how his training as an athletic trainer helped him prepare for his career. He demonstrated how to apply a short arm cast on Mrs. Brewer and then the students had a chance to create a barrel splint or a finger on each other. Additionally, Dr. J. Michael Hare and his wife visited our UConn Allied Health Professionals class to speak to our students about osteopathic medicine. He also performed a mock treatment during class. This was a great opportunity for our students.
Congratulations to the fallen THS band students on being selected to represent Torrington in the Connecticut American School Band Director Association Honor Band Festival. This Honor Band Festival will be held on Monday, November 13th at Maloney High School, American Institute. The students participating are
Teed Lamb, flute, Kayla Kelly, clarinet, Julian Venezuela's clarinet, Sorangel Baez Batista, bass clarinet, Matthew McCarthy, alto saxophone, Simon Sadowska, trumpet, Michael Pascarella, trombone, Brendan Kaskula, euphonium, Emma Schneider, euphonium, and Patrick Minnerly, tuba.
lastly, selected juniors and seniors attended a performance at Pride and Prejudice at Hartford Stage. This funny and light adaptation of Jane Austen's classic was a big hit with the students, many of whom left planning to dive into the novels themselves. Opportunities to attend live performance further engage our students in literature and expand their cultural awareness and experience.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Good job.
Thank you guys very much for coming, we appreciate it. Okay, superintendent's report.
Hard one to top after those students did such a great job.
Yeah, right.
Should have had them read mine. I am gonna break a rule that I have. You know, usually I never respond to public comment. It's kind of a rule that I have, but I do want to respond to Carrie. I love the community, I love the team, I love our students, and I too am happy to be here and lucky to be here, so I didn't want to respond. As this board is aware, we had a great day yesterday at PD. Went very well. Special thanks to Mrs. Ferguson and the entire OTL team for organizing it. Mrs. Ferguson and I went around to the buildings and to watch and to take in the sessions. The teachers were all engaged and seemed to really benefit from the day. And it was really interesting in my tours today of the building. So many teachers were like, oh, I really want to try that. That was some new learning. So it was really good to see that passion and that enthusiasm and that carryover from the PD, and that's why we're very fortunate the board gives us those days for PD. And obviously we look forward to seeing that as we continue our tours through the buildings. Being out and about at various events, sporting events, I'm really proud of how well our student athletes have done, both on their respective fields and courts and obviously within the classroom. And you know, a special recognition goes out to any of our senior athletes, as this will be their last fall season as a Raider. As a dad of a senior, we just had one of our last in my family, and it's an emotional night when it's the last one, and it kind of puts everything in perspective. So a special shout out to our seniors, all athletes and performers. That was their last time being here. So shout out to them, and hopefully they continue in the spring. And lastly, congratulations to any of our newly appointed board members. We look forward to them becoming a part of this team that is a great team and a special team. We look forward to working with them in December and bringing them.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we had a robust conversation in our budget committee meeting Monday and went through line item detail and answer all questions. So if anybody has any additional questions, I'd be happy to answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Policies, do you guys want to take a bundle?
We also had robust conversations. Turn it over to Sue.
So we went through all 4 of the policies. The only addition, Catch Fiona had asked for the actual emergency plan. Mr. McKenna forwarded it. It was attached in the packet. These are basically all things that we've been doing anyway. So the practices were, we were grounded in the accurate practice, but we didn't have them framed in policy. So in keeping with our work with the Shipman Model Policy Index, this is just something we should add to our own board policy manual.
Are they Shipman versions or they're?
Yeah.
Okay.
on policies? Okay. Committee reports, budget. You want to take us here?
I don't really think there's anything else to discuss. We went through our line items, we had some takeaways. One thing that we have to remember, Glenn and I are gonna try to get together to coordinate our agendas because we're crossing over. I think it's been, all so far, every meeting we've had, our agendas are crossing. So just in the spirit of saving time and getting things done, we'll do that.
Facilities and tech.
I'll echo what Sue said.
That's
Good job.
So, school improvement were reports from all of the schools at our last meeting and 2 weeks ago, and very well. Good analysis and test results after we do that. And we will be meeting at Torrington School in a couple of weeks. And have a chance to see what's going on there. I will be detail about Torrington.
Any questions for that? Policy.
Continue with the crosswalk.
Any questions for policy? Building committee.
I have a question on building committee.
Go ahead.
The last time, our last joint meeting, we had some takeaways. Are we in a position, have those issues been resolved, do we know? Is the building committee met again?
Building committee has not met.
Next Thursday is the next
Okay.
building committee meeting. Unfortunately, I was not at that joint meeting, however, I was filled in, and Sue and I both had conversations with Ed and Mario and the rest of the team, and I know they heard a lot of your concerns, and a lot of your concerns are going to be addressed at the 16th meeting. Okay. So it will be addressed. That answers your question. I know
It does, I'll just mark I don't usually go to the building committee meetings, but
I know there was
It will.
concern, but I think some of the items, they have a pretty good handle on, and they were gonna put a comprehensive list together they will hand out at the start of the meeting to show that they address those concerns.
All right, perfect. So for anybody that's not at the meeting, we'll send that out.
I
To
can
the
let
board.
them forward that.
okay.
Yep, just email and I'll forward it, that's not a problem.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve the monthly financials.
Second.
All those in favor?
Carrie and John.
Entertain a motion to approve policies in a bundle.
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion to approve the Board of Ed regular meeting minutes and the Board of Ed special meeting minutes in a bundle.
So,
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
John and Kathy.
Entertain a motion to approve the committee meeting minutes in a bundle.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Entertain a motion to receive the consent agenda.
So, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And Jeff again.
All right. Items for upcoming agenda. You're gonna have monthly financials, capital plan. There's a possibility that the subcommittee meetings, they need to be canceled just because of quorum issues. So more to come on that, just because of the way it all shook out. Some might be able to happen and some might not be able to happen. So we'll be in touch about that as we look into that a little bit more.
Election of officers.
We have election of officers in December, swearing in the new board members in December.
What's the date?
13th, Wednesday, December 13th.
Oh, it's not long.
Our regular board meeting's on the 13th? Oh, because.
Yeah, because of the holidays, yeah.
When does the city do the swearing in?
First Monday of December, whatever the date is this year. Usually about 4 in the afternoon.
4th.
Village is.
And then we'll get the budget calendar because of course it's budget time again.
Ready.
It seems impossible, but it's. All questions on any of that? All right, comments for the good of the order. Start with that side this time.
Fiona and Kathy, thank you so much for all the work you've done. I know I'm new to this, but your hard work.
Thank you. Mike?
Kathy, thank you very much. Enjoy your time with your husband. Now she's gonna be home more.
Yeah, see if they really like
See
each
how
other.
that works.
It's been a pleasure working with you, Kathy. And Fiona, I think Kathy said it best. Sonny's gonna have some really big shoes to fill because the majority of this town doesn't realize the time commitment that you put into the dedication. Thank you for everything. My short stint here of a year and a half, I learned so much from you and I appreciate that. Hopefully we continue to use your knowledge going forward. I'm pretty confident that we're gonna keep a good team intact. For Sue and Michael,
Thank you.
enjoy.
I wrote a little note for both of you, if you don't mind. And I'll make it quick. Kathy, I've learned so much from you in my tenure on the board, but most importantly, I made a new friend. And I just want to thank you for all that you've done for us as a board, for the community, for the kids, and hopefully you won't be too far away. I'll miss you. Fiona, your dedication to our students, their families, and staff is unprecedented. You were instrumental in the implementation of our very successful SPED and ELL programs, re-implementing our TAG program, and you worked for years bringing the new middle school and high school to fruition. You've helped build this team that we have here today, and while you're not physically here with us, your many accomplishments will always be remembered. We have a lot to navigate in the coming months, but we will continue to work towards the goals that we've set together, I hope, and make you proud in the process. Thank you. We know where to find you. I'll still find you.
Kathy, congratulations on your second retirement, although I understand that with how many other organizations you're involved in, this will not be your final retirement. So I hope you enjoy your next retirement just as well. Your insight has been tremendously helpful for me over the last few years, and I'm going to miss that perspective. As I have said occasionally at these board meetings, I haven't spent the entire day inside a school since I graduated. I don't work in education, and that's always been a blind spot. And so your perspective on what it's like to be in there day in and day out has been tremendously helpful. Not only to me, but I think to the entire board who made some decisions that impact those people. So I will miss that, but I'm not deleting your phone number. So if I ever need to know anything, I will relentlessly harass you until you pick up.
I turned in my cell phone.
That's right,
My
change your
personal.
number, change your number. But really, thank you. And Fiona, you know, our principals often lead us not to lecture the voters. But I think sometimes the circumstances require us to abrogate those principles for a few minutes. And I think, I'm just going to say plainly that the voters made a bad choice in not re-electing you to our board. I am hyper-partisan. And I have made my living since I was eligible to work, working for various elected officials and candidates and appointed officials, people involved in government at all levels, from the Capitol building in Washington to Board of Education meeting rooms like this all over the state. I've known a lot of people. Most of them have even been pretty good. But it's rare to meet somebody who is willing to do not only the amount of work, but also the type of work that you have done on behalf of the people of our city. I do not know any other elected official anywhere who will step out of their comfort zone on their own time with no compelling obligation to do so, to meet with homeless families, to meet with families who don't speak the same language as them and have to bring an interpreter to hear about what they need, And we'll take that information and act on it without ever telling anybody that you went out and did this. Because it's not for you about claiming the credit, it's about the end result. And there's nothing more respectable in government than somebody who just wants to do the right thing and doesn't really give a damn if anybody knows it. It's rare to find and it's hard to do. So you should be just as proud of yourself as I think all of us are of you for the way you have led Torrington Public Schools. And it was leadership in the truest sense. And it's been my distinct pleasure and privilege to learn from you over the last 6 years. And just like Kathy, don't go anywhere because there are going to be a lot of things that I still need to ask. But I've always appreciated just your tremendous wealth of knowledge and experience. And I hope one day I will be able to commit to anything in the way that you have committed to our students. So thank you.
Thank you, Eddie. You can do that. Gary.
Kathy, thank you. I always knew when I was going off track or I was saying what I shouldn't say, she'd give me a stare or she'd look at me and shake her head and then text me something and say, shut up. Or she'd tell me to calm down.
Quiet.
Keep quiet.
Choose your words.
Choose my words.
Nice.
I think I learned a little bit.
You did.
So thank you.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be seeing you in May. It's next summer, hopefully. We'll see each other. We've known each other since high school. So thank you for everything. Nice person. Good. A lot of time, which you didn't have to do. Really great kids. Stepping away and making your husband go good night.
I always cook before I leave.
Thank you. That's really so much. Maybe you'll be back. Yeah. Fiona, nobody knows how hard you work. I'm lucky enough to work with you on a number of things. You're like a second wife. You tell me when I'm doing things wrong. With my first wife, you tell me to shut up and leave her alone. You tell me to be nice. But I don't understand. The city doesn't know nobody in Torrington understands what I'm saying. I've never met anybody. My wife says I work all the time, but you'll text at 2 in the morning, 1 in the morning, 6 in the morning. Although the prayer starts at 6. And you never stop. And then you have a full-time job. You have 12 hours at a full-time job and then 10 hours at this job. I don't know how you do it. You'll be missed, but I know you won't be going anywhere. And I'll see you quite often. You're an inspiration. Your kids know that. Your husband knows that. My family knows that. And you don't know how many people have texted me today saying, what are you going to do now? We will stick together.
Thank you.
I promise.
Kathy.
I think I've said enough.
Yeah.
But I will miss this. I'll miss the camaraderie that we have and, the back and forth sometimes. And the sarcasm and all that good stuff, but I will miss it, but it's been a wonderful experience. There's no one like it.
Kathy, we can't thank you enough for your countless hours of service. Little known fact, I grew up the road from Kathy. So when I go and visit my parents, I can drive by and say hello.
That's my kid's age though.
Yeah, this is true. Your husband dropped off your signs in my garage in case you decide to come back. We're ready to have you back and hopefully you'll stay involved and stay in touch with everybody. You will be sorely missed. Fiona, I've only known you for 5 or 6 years, and despite everybody, especially Ed's best attempt at putting in words to how much this town has lost and this committee has lost, it's not possible. Throughout our vote yes in the schools and ad hoc, the emails and text messages at 3 in the morning, and why are you still awake? There are things to do, was your response. So I don't know how you did it, and I think I can comfortably speak for everybody at the table who I spoke with tonight that we all experienced what you have done for this city for 12 years, and that is a sleepless night. I don't think anybody slept well last night. It's an awful thing that you're not going to be joining us. I hope from the bottom of my heart that you stay involved, stick around, and just know that all you've done has been recognized by everybody in this room. If the public hasn't noticed it, that's an unfortunate mistake on their part. You will be missed, and thank you for absolutely everything you've done.
I don't know how I could tell any of you. Kathy will be missed in a quiet way, but the knowledge was, except for when you get violent. You will be missed. And on behalf of the Board of Ed.
Oh, thank you.
For you.
Thank you very much.
No words.
Kathy, thank you for everything you've brought to the board. Patience, good humor in putting up with the things that we sometimes have done that you know we shouldn't be doing. Especially coming from the administrator's point of view, bringing that perspective that has been very helpful to us. Your good nature, keeping your eye on all those things, which I appreciate. Fiona, we are suffering a profound and untimely loss. Every organization, every volunteer organization needs somebody who is totally devoted to the well-being of that organization, who will take those calls, those emails, those contacts first, deal with them, who will devote the energy that is necessary for the success of that organization. For us, you have been that person since you started this chair. Your monument, on the other hand, will be very physical. It will just be some good feeling. In addition to that, it will be the high school. High school was your idea. You were the first person who started talking. Now, a lot of people got on board and helped. An awful lot of people. But the idea started with you. And I think we need to recognize that. Thank you.
Josh.
There's not a lot I can say that hasn't already been said better. I just want to say, Kathy, it's been a pleasure getting to know you for the limited time I haven't been able to.
Thank you. Ellie.
I have more time to get myself together. Captain Fiona, just thank you.
Marissa.
Kathy, I'm gonna miss you, but I hope you play and spend lots of time with your grandbabies. Fiona, I can't imagine coming to a Board of Ed meeting without you, so that's gonna be very difficult. We're all gonna miss you, me the most.
Well, good luck to both of you. I haven't been there very long, but change is good sometimes. If there's any positive, don't experience. So, good luck.
I mean, I think everybody's kind of said it all, but, Kathy, it's been wonderful working with you on the board. I wasn't here when you were working in the schools, so really my experience with you has been only on the board, and I've really appreciated your perspective, similar to what Ed said, having that perspective as having been an administrator. Fiona, I can echo what John said. I think that, this community is suffering a profound loss tonight. So I think that your commitment and dedication has been tremendous. And I think even when the board hasn't agreed, you've always been the one who's been able to keep everything focused on the work for the betterment of the community and the students. So you're going to be missed.
Thank you both. Good luck to you. The sun's gonna shine tomorrow, so I guarantee you, a few months from now, you'll be in a better spot. And the kids and the residents of Torrington are really missed out. So, thank you for everything.
So Kathy, I'm gonna miss you desperately. I want you all to know I have been badgering her every day to reconsider this departure from the board. She just laughs at me, but I will miss having you on the board. But Kathy and I have been friends a long time, so I know where she lives. So we'll continue to see each other. Fiona, I think everybody has said it in such an eloquent way, but I do have to tell you, I actually stopped breathing for a minute last night. When I heard the news. So I just want you to know what a wonderful support you've been to me throughout my time in this position. Just so you know, Fiona called me 5 years ago. I was at East School. We were getting ready to close, and she said, "Would you be willing to it'll just be temporary. It'll be this little interim stint, you know, and you can go back to being a principal." I know where you live too. Thank you.
No, so thank you again. Fiona, I've said it many times, Kathy, family always comes first, Kathy. And like Sue, I know I was relentless on one or 2 or 10 phone calls. And I'm usually a good salesman, so I'm a little upset that I didn't win that. I'll put that in my loss. And it is a loss for all the state tournament. But Fiona, I've said it, and everyone else has echoed it. You are someone who you do not sleep. So, I know you will always be there to take everyone's phone calls, including mine and Sue's and Kim's and Scott's when needed, but maybe we'll catch up on some sleep because you do not do that. Your health is also more important, just like everyone else, but you don't sleep because of the dedication you have for our kids. And that is not witnessed by anyone in this room or anyone in the community, especially with you.
Patrick, this isn't how it normally happens when people come on, so I'm very sorry, but we're really happy to welcome you to the board. And I think everybody's gonna take good care of you to make sure that you get what you need, and I think you'll enjoy it very much. While you're all talking about the time, I'm going to make public comment around the district, both here and City Hall, a little bit more fun, so. Yes. I'll be now known as the ankle biter.
I love it.
Upcoming meetings. All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.